What's up, everybody? Make sure I got everything going here that I need going. Okay, I think we're good to go. What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year 2023. New year, same me. Ain't nothing changed. We're here to do what we set out to do last year and what we set out to do every year, to be honest. My life is very much like Pinky in the Brain. Same thing we're always doing, Pinky. We're trying to take over the world. And by world, I mean the crypto YouTube game. Trying to take it over. I'm trying to be number one. I'm trying to get so big that I can take down Moon Carl and Crypto and all these absolute brainlets who dominate crypto YouTube. So if you want the real juice, the real information on crypto on YouTube, Trader Mayne's channel is going to be the source for that going forward. I'm very excited about it. I'm actually moving into a new place. Moving in with my girlfriend. Pretty big step. Pretty excited. But with that bigger place comes more space, and I'm really stoked to redo my desk. I'm going to get a new desk, and I am going to have, it's got an extra bedroom, so I'm actually going to just turn that bedroom kind of into a little mini studio, maybe get a sign, then I won't have to have the green screen. I have the green screen right now because otherwise you're looking at my living room. So, have the nice sign and nice background and just better lighting, better audio and acoustics. I bought a brand new camera, right? Brand new camera, which we're going to use as a webcam. So now the webcam will be super high def. We might even integrate some 2 camera angle action. We might have one side cam, one front cam. I don't know. Might get crazy, but I'm really excited. It's going to be a good year. I feel it. Obviously, last year, I had a great year up until the very end. Last year I crushed all of my financial goals from a trading perspective in terms of account growth. My goals personally, just like growing social media accounts, at the gym, relationship-wise with friends, family, my girlfriend, I smashed everything. And I was having such a good fucking year. And then obviously at the end, we had that little bit of a hiccup. That little bit of a hiccup with that little curly-haired fuck decided to run my pockets real quick. So that sucked, but it's a new year. We're going to make it all back and more. I'm not worried at all. And it seems like we might have a little bit of volatility coming into the market. So generally, if this is your first time trading around the holidays, this is pretty standard stuff. Very little volatility. Basically for the entire month of December, right? We didn't get a ton of movement. That's totally normal. You got to realize people are away, people are not at home, offices are closed, things like that. We're in a new year. There's new budgets. There's new targets. Everyone's back at work now. So I do expect volatility to start picking up again in traditional markets, crypto, etc. To be honest with you, the volatility in Euro USD, GBP USD, like some of the Forex markets that I monitor, gold, has been great. It's been crypto that's just been kind of dead. And it just kind of shows you still, in my opinion, how infant this space is. Because yeah, we're down a lot from all-time high. But when retail leaves, it's like the volume just goes poof, right? Whereas it doesn't matter really in the traditional markets if a stock is high or low, if a currency pair is high or low, there's still trillions of dollars transacting in those markets all the time. So not a bad time to also, expand your horizons. All the stuff that I share with you here and that I do here, it's applicable on any market that has a chart, whether that's Forex, whether that's, stocks, etc. It's all the same. If you want to trade the dollar CAD, right? Well, you can look up the DXY, and then you can look up CAD versus JPY, and you can use those 3 pairs as a way to do your cross-market analysis. Very similar to how you would look at an altcoin versus BTC and versus Ethereum. It all works the exact same. So I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a good year. And I'm excited to take y'all with me. I have some big goals for this channel this year, and I'm looking forward to smashing them. I'm going to be working really hard. I think after the FTX thing happened, and then it was the holidays, I just kind of took my foot off the gas. And not that there was a lot going on anyways. I mean, I did catch most of the trades that happened, but I just kind of took my foot off the gas. And to be honest with you, last year, I wasn't working as hard as I could because I'd sold the top and I kind of got complacent. I was like, well, I got all this cash. I'm just going to wait for things to crater, and then I'm just going to shove, and I'm going to be laughing. I definitely got complacent and didn't work nearly as hard as I should have been, in my opinion. But that's going to change this year. I'm remotivated based on what's happened to work that much harder and get more videos out and content out for you guys. So that's what I'm going to do. Real quick, shout out to the sponsors. So new year, same sponsor, still working with Prime XBT. So if you want to support me, the best way to do that is to sign up to Prime using the link in the description of this video, enter code Mayne50 in the referral section, and then deposit some money and start trading. If you want to trade gold with me, you want to trade equities, the S&P 500, right? They have CFDs for it. You want to trade silver, you want to trade some Forex pairs, you can do that on Prime. And so if I'm sharing Forex pairs, I don't want people being like, Mayne, where can I trade this stuff? You can do it on Prime with crypto, no KYC, and I think it's a $20,000 a day withdrawal limit, similar to Bybit. Okay, so that's where you can trade those things with me. Otherwise, it's country specific. Brokers that work here don't necessarily work in Europe. Prime works, right? So if you want to support me, that remains the best way to do it. Sign up to Prime, deposit some money. Let me know that you've done so, and I'll get you into my Discord. It is free. I also have Telegram, which has been popping off. We got about 6,000 people in there as well. So if you want to come hang out in Telegram, there is no chat function there. It's just my charts and my thoughts on the market. I've been trying to update it every day, multiple times a day. Whereas Discord, you can actually interact with me directly, ask questions, and there's also a community of people who look at the markets how I look at it. That's the entire idea of the Discord. It's not just so we can shitpost. It's like, okay, if everyone wants to trade like me, right? We're looking for liquidity runs, we're looking for breakers and order blocks and da-da-da. If I share what I do with a bunch of people and now all of you are looking for the same thing, it's like a hive mind. We now have all of these different eyes looking for the same thing across different assets. So someone might say, hey, Mayne, this chart looks good. And I'm like, oh, it does look good, but it's not one I would have checked on my own. That's the value of the Discord. Everyone's kind of trading similarly in there, price action focused. And so it's a great place to bounce ideas. We've got some really good traders in there who are solid. So if you want to get in, that's how you do it. So we'll talk about the markets now. So we've had a little bit of a move. I don't even remember the last video that I did. All I know is I was wearing a Santa hat, I believe. Sorry about this massive gargantuan heater on my forehead. It is extremely painful. It's like one of those zits that's under the skin, so you can't pop it because there's nothing there. And it just fucking hurts like a mother. And I saw it coming and I tried everything. Didn't touch it. I put fucking the shit on it. Didn't seem to matter. And now it's just a blaring fucking heater. But what I do remember is that we were expecting this move up. Okay, so I longed down here. And we were expecting a move up. So this has just been a very, very slow move, but we basically entered based on the 12-hour SFP. So this long was posted in Discord. It seems like forever ago, but this long was posted in Discord, right? And then we had our initial target at the low of this 12-hour fair value gap, which is right here, right? And that got hit. And then as you can see, over the last 2 days, we've actually now filled in the entire gap. So we have this 12-hour fair value gap that's been hit. So we took a long from here. I closed some out, I think, here. And I only had about 25% remaining, which I closed out yesterday. and I'm no longer long Bitcoin. And I'm no longer long Atom. I had an Atom trade that played out over the last couple days. I'm no longer long that as well. I've taken profit on a lot of my levered positions across the board because we've seen a big move up, especially a lot of altcoins have run extremely hard. And a lot of stuff is coming into resistance, and resistance seems to be providing some rejections. So I want to be cautious. As you guys know, I'm in the business of hitting singles right now. Singles, doubles. I'm not aiming for, a home run every time. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to stack cash. So that's what we got going on. We had that long here, and now we're coming up into the areas that I had marked as resistance, right? We had that initial range high here, right? So if the old chart looked something like this, I believe we had, where did we do? Must have been. Yeah, it must have been this. Right? Dip below the mid-range, SFP, bullish market structure, target range high. Now we're filling in that fair value gap. So I posted a chart and I said the next areas of liquidity first was going to be to finish filling in the fair value gap, which we've now done today. And then we have daily supply up here, right? So this would be, if we continue to the upside, the next liquidity objective. Sorry, let me get where's my pen? Beautiful. This would be the next liquidity objective is here, okay? So that would mean if we get some sort of dip down to here, I'm looking to long that up into here. This is where I think it would be more likely that we get that kind of distribution is up here. Doesn't mean it can't happen here. This could be it. This could be the top. I don't know. Or maybe we go higher. Or maybe we get crazy and we go crazy high. I have a super bullish idea that I'll share with you guys in a bit here once I'm finished this blurb. But that's the next objective to the upside. Based on where we're at right now, we have a fresh 12-hour range. We have a low. There's your high. It's not technically confirmed until this candle closes, which won't be until 2 or 3 in the morning tonight. But pretty good bet that this candle closes below that candle's high, making this a swing high. So we have this 12-hour range, right? And what we're looking for is exactly what happened here, okay? And so I'll show you what I mean. So we literally we had our low here, okay? Broke market structure. Here was our new 12-hour range, okay? That was our leg up, okay? Where do we want to buy? If I think it's going to go higher, I want to buy on the pullback before continuation. Here's your pullback. Where did it pull back to? Support. There's your continuation, right? That's all it is. And obviously you can go in on the low time frame and dial in a tighter entry here. You could have entered just based on this 12-hour order block right here. Retracement into the range. We're at a discount. Took out that previous day's low. Boom. Now, if you want to get a tighter entry, right, you could say, okay, well, I'm bullish in here. Right, I'm bullish within this. And we took out this yesterday's low. Now I'm going to zoom in. Okay, I'm going to see, is there a little low time frame trigger? Lo and behold, there's your breaker. Bang, retest, boom, right? Now, I know people might say, oh, it didn't actually touch this, okay? If I spot this breaker and we close through it like this, I'm starting to buy as soon as it starts pulling back. And it might pull back into it. It might pull back a little bit through it, right? It technically could have come down into here. But I'm starting to buy. Like, if I believe that this is a breaker and we're continuing higher, if it gets anywhere near it, I'm starting to buy, right? So if you had a limit order right at the edge, you didn't get filled. Sometimes that happens. But me personally, if I was watching, I didn't trade this, that's how I would enter. I'd say this is a classic breaker here, and it comes that fucking close. I'm buying. I'm buying here, right? Stop here. So instead of having your stop below the 12-hour order block, you now have a tighter risk reward and a better entry, right? Tighter invalidation, better entry. So that whole thing that I just explained here with this range, pullback, continuation, well, now look. We now have a range. Okay, where would I want to long this 12-hour price swing? Lower, right? I don't want to long it up here. Could we just chad from here? Absolutely. And if that's the case, I'm not getting in a trade. But ideally, I would like to see a pullback into here. Right? We have this fair value gap here, as well as a 12-hour bullish order block, down candle for the up move that broke market structure. So if we come down in here, I want to be looking for something like this, right? A reason to get long for maybe another leg up. That's as simple as it gets. That's the plan for now. So I don't know if this is the high. I don't know if we're going to get a pullback. All I can do is make a plan, and then if price hits my alerts and it triggers me to come look at the charts and something's unfolding, then I take the trade. And sometimes I don't get in the trade. That's okay, right? What you're going to experience a lot right now, especially on days like yesterday and today, where we had lots of stuff happen. We had tons of things move. We had tons of pumps, right? You're going to feel serious FOMO, right? Because you're going to long something and someone else is going to long a different coin and it's going to go up more than yours, right? Or you're going to long one coin that goes up, but like someone else longed 4 coins that went up. You're just going to see opportunities everywhere, and you're going to feel FOMO because maybe you didn't get in any positions, right? How much FOMO would you feel if you're flat right now, right? Probably quite a bit, right? Everything's pumping. Everyone's talking about how we're back. The bulls are back. You're going to feel FOMO. You're going to feel like you missed out. And generally, RecProof posted a good thread about this today. Generally, what happens is you have these uptrends, right? And it's buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, and then boom, staircase up, elevator down. So he posted a good thread about this. This is something I talk about all the time. What happens in here is complacency, right? So you're buying the dip, okay, tight risk. My risk is there, my risk is here, blah, blah, blah. But now you're winning. Every time it dips, it goes back up. So maybe now you risk a little more, right? Maybe now you're like, okay, well, I'm going to have a looser stop or no stop. I'm going to risk a little more because this thing's just going higher. And every time it dips, it bounces and makes new highs. So I'm just going to keep buying every time it dips. And then you get the big dip that keeps on dipping, right? And it wipes all those people out. So you don't want to get complacent in that, just assuming if this dips, it's going to bounce. We don't know, right? This could dip one more time, have another leg, then it could puke. I don't fucking know. All I care about is trading level to level. And so if I have a level here and price comes back here and then I have an objective, I can now frame a trade around this logic. And that's all I give a shit about, right? But without that plan, of course I might feel FOMO. If Bitcoin starts trading higher, if it starts dropping, maybe I'm worried that I need to short, right? Without a plan, you're lost, right? So you need to have a plan. You need to know the levels where price might go and what you would do if price gets to those levels. Without that, you have nothing, okay? And without that, that's when that emotion of fear of missing out is going to come into play, because things are going to be moving, you're not going to be positioned, and you're going to be upset because your buddy's longing shit and it's all working, or he shorted the top and you're flat. And that's when you start chasing, that's when you start making mistakes. So in times like these, you're better off staying off of Twitter and maybe not being in a bunch of different discords and stuff where people are just posting about trades that they're in, because that's going to fuck you up, right? You need to be in the charts, making plans, and then executing on those plans, right? So I made a post earlier today talking about exactly that. I'm like, right now, if you think we're going to go higher, you need to go look at charts that you want to trade and look for areas where we might pull back to. Because if we pull back tomorrow and it's a big black candle, are you going to freak out? Or are you going to be like, no, I was waiting for this, I'm good, right? So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow yet. We do have, I believe, let me just pull up the Forex calendar here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Okay, so we have Powell speaking tomorrow at 6 a.m. This is Pacific Standard Time, so that's 9 a.m. East Coast time. And that's 6 a.m., I don't know, like 2 p.m. Euro time? I'm not sure. You guys are 8 hours ahead of me, so 4 hours would be 10. Yeah, 2 p.m. Look at that math. Okay, so we have Fed Chow. Red means high impact news, okay? So what could he be talking about? Looks like he's going to be... He's speaking at some panel talking about central banks' independence and the mandate of evolving views. I don't even know what that fucking means. But if Powell comes out there and is like saying, hey, rates are not coming down anytime soon, inflation is still too high, and he's super negative, that's probably going to be bad for price, right? So this is something to watch tomorrow. Okay, be aware. I'm not saying you need to watch the actual speech, but probably going to get some volatility, some whipsaw around this conversation based on what he says. And then we have CPI, okay, on Thursday. So we have a big week in terms of traditional macro items here, okay? So the CPI, right? So what we're looking at here is the forecasted announcement and then the last announcement, right? So we want CPI going down, okay? Down is good. So they're saying 6.5, which would be less than last CPI, right? Which was December 13th, is what's expected. If it comes in at 7, that would be considered bearish for risk, okay? If it comes in at 6, that would be considered bullish, lower than expected. If it's at 6 at 5, harder to make a decision on it. But if it comes in above 6.5, that's not good, okay? If for the bulls, not good for the bulls, okay? So big week in that sense. So lots to pay attention to. So you want to be prepared, right? You want to be prepared, and you want to have a plan. If you think we're going higher, if you think Bitcoin trades higher, Ethereum trades higher, this is just one daily candle here. It's not the nicest daily candle. That's a decently ugly close, right? Ethereum closed a lot nicer. But Bitcoin's candle doesn't look great, but it's just one daily candle. You can't make your bias off of that, right? We could literally have something like this happen, right? Where it's like, okay, here's a swing high, right? And then within the next day, boom, bullish candle, right? Like this could close like this tomorrow, right? And then the next candle could be a big green one. I don't know. But what I'm looking for is to long a dip, if given, down towards 16.9K, 17 to 16.9, that kind of range. So if you zoom in here, you have this very nice confluence of this fair value gap here and that 4-hour order block, and that daily order block is there, and then this entire thing is a daily fair value gap. So this area is where I'd look to see if the bulls step in and we get that continuation with an upside objective of being 17.6, right, into that daily bearish order block right here, okay? But yet to be seen. I don't know. Maybe this is all the dip that we get and we just chad higher, right? We took out some lows. We took out some lows here. Maybe that's it. Big run below those lows. Nice close above. Maybe that's all she wrote. I don't know yet, right? We did break market structure here on the hourly, so something to keep in mind. But it's too early to tell. I think tomorrow we'll have more clarity on the direction for the rest of the week. need more data. Simple as that. But my general plan for now is hopefully we dip a little lower and I can get long and ride it for another leg up. And a lot of alts look potentially primed to, get pullbacks and then potentially bounces, right? So we got to wait and see. If you're looking at the 4-hour here as well, where's price capped? I have that 12-hour FVG, right? Fair value gap, but you also have this, right? There's your 4-hour supply that we came into and rejected. Okay, so that's kind of the general plan for Bitcoin, right? Is I would like to long lower if given the opportunity. I don't know if I'll get it. If I do, I have a plan. If I don't, I wait for the next trade. If we just go up from here, maybe my next trade is a short up in this daily supply, right? That's fine with me. I don't need to catch every single fucking move. So no stress. So hopefully that's a pretty straightforward plan there for Bitcoin. Okay, let's take a quick look at the chat. Hey, Amir, I'm doing good, bro. Thanks for asking. How was the trip, man? It was great. I love Arizona. I love Scottsdale. I had a ton of fucking fun. It was nice to just see the sun. We're in like the peak seasonal depression here in the Pacific Northwest. It's gray and rainy every fucking day. The sun, I have not seen the sun in 3 days since I've been back. Sun has not come out once. Can't even see it. It's just dark. It's gray when you wake up. And then like at 4 o'clock, it just starts to get dark. It's depressing as fuck. So I have this fake vitamin D lamp. I'm crushing fucking vitamin D pills. But so it was nice to get some sun. I obviously had a bit of a hectic night that one night there. Thank God for my girlfriend taking care of me because I was an absolute fucking shithouse. But otherwise, had a really good trip. This guy says, lower the gay line to 17.6K. What say you, Mayne Dingo? Leroy Jenkins. I can't, man. I didn't create the gay line. The gay line was created the same time as the 2 tablets came down from Mount Sinai with the 10 commandments on them. There was actually 11 commandments. There was the first 10 that you know, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, blah, 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 those ones. But then the 11th commandment that actually got broken off when Moses brought the tablets down from Mount Sinai, the bottom of one, the 11th commandment got broken off, and it said, while Bitcoin is below the gay line, then in parentheses it said 30K, all of you are gay. I didn't write it. That was God, okay? He wrote those tablets, not me. I don't make the rules. I can't change them, unfortunately. I'm sorry. What's up, Squiggle? What's up, Aaron? How you doing, man? Crypto shitpost. Yeah, hit that like button, guys. Come on, let's pump those likes up. We got 500 people watching. With overall macro looking so bearish and the fact that crypto has never been in a recession, how much do technicals levels really affect medium-term projections? They are everything, right? Everything. The levels have been working nonstop. The fact that everything is bearish, all it means is that crypto's been going down as well. What we're learning is that as much as people wanted the decoupling and the Bitcoin being a flight to safety and a way to get out of risk, it's not that at all. Bitcoin trades like the S&P on fucking steroids, right? Sometimes it trades like the S&P on fucking estrogen, but sometimes like on test, right? So there's the HGH testosterone Bitcoin correlation, and then there's the estrogen beta correlation when it barely does anything, where we have a big up day on stocks and Bitcoin does nothing. But what we're learning is it is a risk asset. So it fits in that risk asset bucket, meaning if stocks and shit are going down, generally not good times for crypto. What's good, Trader Amp? What's up, T.O. Pull? Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year, Pavlos. What's my 2023 goals? I would like to get under 200 pounds. So I'd like to do a big cut. That for sure. Make millions of dollars would be another one. Maybe buy a house. Be some of my goals. I got a lot. I write them in a journal. Are we solely reliant on the SPX Fed for our moves, or will certain fundamental levels hold on BTC and ETH, etc.? What are fundamental levels? Like, what does that even mean, right? Like, some people thought we would never go below 20K because that was the last old high. How did that work out? The Fed and macro picture drive this market. So when that environment gets better, when we get back to an environment of QE instead of QT, quantitative easing as opposed to tightening, that is when things will likely get bullish for Bitcoin again. And I think the timeline makes sense, right? We're looking at the halving being in May of 2024, right? What is that? Less than a year away, 18 months away. Probably makes sense. Kind of lines up. To me, at least, it makes sense. What are my thoughts on the Tate debacle? Free my boy Andrew Tate. That's all I got to say. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I personally like Andrew Tate. I think he's hilarious. But I'm also old enough to know when he says certain things that he's not being serious. And if you cut up certain things that he says and post it on our own without context, they can sound horrific. But he's playing a character and it's an act and he's a comedian and he's a funny one. But I understand that a lot of his audience are not 30-year-old men. They're 15-year-old men who don't have maybe the same ability as me to discern between what he's joking about and what he's serious about. But if you listen to him, a lot of the stuff he says is good for young men. It's like, work hard, make yourself useful, become competent, right? Like, these are not bad things. That being said, big caveat, if he actually committed any crimes, like if he actually, there's evidence that he sex trafficked people or women or abused them or whatever, absolutely throw him in jail, 100%. Like, if he's guilty, I agree. But I do think he's a very hated individual by a lot of the powers that be, right? Hence why he was off Twitter before Elon took over. So I can see them not wanting him to have a voice because it goes against a lot of what the other side is preaching. But if he did something wrong and it's a fair trial and he found guilty, fuck him, right? Fuck that. Sex trafficking's awful, right? But yeah, we'll see what happens. I guess they're in the hospital now. They got beat up. I don't know. OnlyFans with girlfriend. That depends how low Bitcoin goes. Then we'll start talking about that as being an option. Okay. People are laughing. I must have said something funny. Okay, let's see what's going on Twitch. Can I give you a tour of my kitchen? Sure, I don't know. Hey, Mayne, can you explain your F hedge? No, because I'm not in it anymore. I already closed it. Right? When I started hedging short on F here. Then soon as we closed through this high, I closed it because I was clearly wrong. I was basically... where Bitcoin is rejecting, equivalent on F is right here, right? Kind of this. So I started hedging here. We had the SFP, right? I was in profit briefly. Then we had this really strong close, right? Had another SFP. So I added more here. Once we had this big candle close through all these highs, I closed the hedge. I collapsed the trade because I was just wrong, right? I was just wrong. So... That was the plan, right? It's like, okay, maybe this is where we pull back from, but turns out it wanted higher. And that sometimes happens. You should build a house. I'll build it for you. Are you a builder? Do you know how to build a house? What's my thoughts on unemployment numbers? I saw some crazy speech from this guy who was talking about like how unemployment, like more people need to be unemployed or something. I can't remember exactly. It was just the other day. I don't really have an opinion to be honest with you. I'm most focused on rates because I think we need to get to a point if we want any sort of sniff of this bottom being in where rates aren't just stagnant, but they're actually starting to come down. And that's going to take a while. So that's kind of my main focus. I don't really pay attention to unemployment nearly as much. You know, you can look at earnings and things like that, and, you know, Amazon laying off a ton of staff, Salesforce laying off a ton of staff, things like that. Generally, that's not a good sign for the economy. Simple as that. So here is a crazy idea, okay? Here is a crazy idea of a potential uber bullish situation. So this is one of my favorite trading setups, okay? Price does this. Okay? Like this. This could be a breaker. This could just be a SR reclaim. You could call it a Quasimodo. This could be just a few candles. It could be a long accumulation. All that I'm showing you here is we had liquidity building up on both sides of the market, right? Because we're in a range. We run one side. Obviously, for the short scenario, this would be the inverse, right? We run one side, and then we reclaim that lost level. Because the reason I love this is because this now is your risk, right? If we're going higher, we should not come back below here, right? So that's kind of, I'm not saying your stop has to go here, but that's kind of your invalidation on the entire thesis. And then you can find a trade based on the premise of like, okay, we're back above that level, whatever. Or maybe you just take a swing trade and as soon as we reclaim, you put your stop here. I don't know. It's not what I'm talking about right now. But this is one of my favorite type of setups, okay? Reclaim, right? So run a low, reclaim. It's no different than my breakers, right? That I always fucking take trades on, right? Right? It's the same concept here. Trade below, reclaim, easy invalidation, right? Your invalidation is there. So that is what could potentially be happening here. Okay? We have this very clear price floor that we traded below. Okay? We have this old range here. Right? That we were trading in. Then this FTX thing happened. Okay? Look at where we are right now. We're trading just below that range low, just below this kind of entire price floor here, right? If we're able to get back into here, and to me, confirmation would likely mean that we break this high as well. If we're able to get back into here, you now have that kind of range, breakdown, reclaim, right? This would be your invalidation below all of this price action that happens below there. So this would be like the most bullish scenario that I could see happening for Bitcoin right now. What is going to have to happen for this to play out? Stocks are going to have to not eat shit. The dollar is going to have to either go sideways or down further. Those things are going to have to happen. If that can happen, right, we could see us reclaim this. And if we reclaim this, we're then going to like at least here, in my opinion. Then maybe we go down from there. I don't know. I don't need to know this leg. If I can trade this one, that's all I care about initially. But we're going at least to there. At least to here. Reclaim this. Target here. And then maybe we're back in this range now. And that was our bottom, right? And now we're just going to accumulate around here. I don't know, right? But that's kind of the most bullish scenario that I can kind of come up with on crypto right now, is that, hey, maybe we're going to reclaim this old range. And if we do, we can start targeting quite aggressively to the upside. Again, though, this is going to be reliant on equities not shitting the bed. So I'm going to talk about Ethereum, and then we'll take a look at ES, and then we'll take a look at gold, because I'm hunting a short. I've actually started to build it a little bit already, just very small size, starting to scale in. I can talk about Tesla calls that I took, and then maybe I'll rip through a couple altcoins that I got my eye on. So let's get our levels back here. So hopefully everyone is pretty straightforward on my initial plan for Bitcoin, right? I would like to long lower. I don't know. This seems to be the obvious target to the upside still. So if I can get a dip to long, I will take it. I see some people saying power of 3. You always see Rect Proof, for example, post these charts, right? And everyone goes crazy for them. Right? He always posts it. He goes accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? This is an ICT concept called the power of 3, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? You can do the inverse as well. This is an ICT concept. It's called the power of 3. You see this pattern repeat on all different time frames across all different asset classes at all different scales. So if you can get good at recognizing it like he has, he's gotten very good at recognizing it, you can make a lot of money using that logic there. But that's what that is. If you want to know more about it, check out his page or check out the source, ICT. Lots of equal lows on ETH and BTC, untested yearly open. Makes me a non-believer on the rally just yet. Listen, this is something to consider. We don't really have a yearly wick, right? Like this new year so far has been up only. If you look at the yearly candle, we don't really have a downside wick. So the likelihood that we bottom and that's the low of the year is like that. I don't know if I buy that, right? But yeah, definitely something to pay attention to. Again, why try and guess? Why not just pay level to level? Find an area where you think a trade might set up, set some alerts, wait for price to get there, react. Okay, Ethereum, very similar to Bitcoin. We've got this new 12-hour range here. I would love to long Ethereum down here, up into this daily fair value gap, and we have a clear set of relatively equal highs right here. Now again, this is looking pretty strong to start the day. We might just push up here and not give the pullback. But just like Bitcoin, I would rather wait and long where I want to long as opposed to chase, okay? Because I don't have a setup here. Maybe the only setup I could have seen would have been something on like the low time frame here. And it's like, okay, we ran these lows and we're pushing up, right? We didn't break market structure. So maybe that was it. And maybe your risk is here. I don't know, right? And you long the SFP, okay? And your target is up here. That could have been a trade, but I didn't long this. So I already missed that. I would like to see, personally, these lows get run, right? And then a move into maybe this demand zone here. Or if we go to the 4-hour, right? We have this fair value gap here, right? So what is that? 12.95 to to 1305, and then maybe a dip a little lower into that daily order block. I don't know though, but I would like to long lower personally before continuation of the upside. I'm not going to chase it. We had a decent daily close on Ethereum, right? The 12-hour candle is kind of nasty, but again, if I think that there is a liquidity objective to the upside, okay, I want to long the dip, then target that liquidity objective, right? That's the ideal situation for me. If we don't get that pullback, which we don't have to, again, I missed the trade, and that's just, it is what it is. Okay? This whole conversation around someone's like, there's not been capitulation yet. And then other people are like, what do you mean when there's no capitulation yet? Blah, blah, blah. Of course there's capitulation. FTX happened. Everyone's going to have a different opinion on what constitutes capitulation, right? What determines what it is? Like, is this not capitulation? A 30% drop in almost a day? I don't know. Was this capitulation? Here? This was the COVID dump. Like, what makes this capitulation here and this not? Because this is just as aggressive. This move from here to here, down 50%, right? Just like this. From here to here, right? Drop 50%. So who fucking knows, right? Who decides which one is legit capitulation? What are the criteria? There aren't none. You don't have this. It's not like if it drops this percent, it is capitulation, right? So I think it's kind of a fool's errand to try and guess or determine and be like, hey, we haven't had capitulation yet, therefore the bottom is not in. Why not just play things level to level and realize that we are 80% off of all-time high, okay? Every time price is traded 85, 90% off of all-time high, it's been the bottom. So we're getting close to those levels. Does that not mean we can go lower? We absolutely can. If we want to go down 85%, we're at like 10K. So I'm not just saying buy now, but as you guys know, and I've talked about this in multiple videos, I'm like 10 to 20K Bitcoin, 500 to 1,000 ETH. I think that is cheap, assuming we have another bull run. I don't need to buy the bottom, okay? I don't need to determine whether or not capitulation has happened yet. I don't care. Okay. So Ethereum, very similar plan. Hopefully that's pretty straightforward for everyone there. Gonna wait and see what happens. See how these next few hours and this evening play out. We'll see what Asian session plays out like, right? So nighttime, London open. Midnight for me, or 11. I can't remember quite. Let's see. Where's London open? Here. London open, so I'm 3 hours behind that. 12 to 1. What? Right? Because this is New York. It's New York, 2 a.m. 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 a.m. New York time. That's going to be London Open. You can see what happened in last London Open, right? That's when that move started. And then in New York, we got the continuation of the move right into London close. Been selling off since. So we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and I think I'll have a better idea of more plans. But for now, I'm not going to chase this. I didn't long this little dip here. So if this just goes up from here, I'm wrong, and I'm going to live with that, and that's okay. I'm wrong. I'm missing a trade, and I don't care. Okay, but I would like to long lower if given the opportunity later in the week, right? So I personally would like to see like this. And then, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm buying the dip. And then we get the continuation. That's what I would like to see. I don't know if that will happen, though. All right, so equities. So I'd posted this chart back here. Okay, so almost a month ago, we had this SFP. It said big SFP into demand, right? After a huge sell-off, I said, I reckon we get a bounce here. We had this tight range over the holidays, but once we swept that low, right, we held above it. So to me, that was my bias. And if you go look at my SPX thread, we talked about it. It's like, hey, I think it goes up from here, right? But I had this breaker, right? So this is the down candle for the up move, took out the high, broke down. Look at how we came up to it and rejected. So that's a pretty ugly close, in my opinion, like that daily candle. How often do those get reversed on equities, right? Where it closes with a really long upper wick and then it ends up going up afterwards. Maybe here, you could argue. But usually, when you get those rejection candles into resistance, okay, that's a bad sign. This is like here, right? Big rejection candle, traded lower. So that's an ugly close on equities for sure. Not ideal. But I don't know if it's done for sure yet. I don't like how this closed. I liked how it looked to start the day. But I guess I would want to see us get back above, I don't know, like, right? We got to get back above kind of 39.25 to 39.30. We got to get back above this floor here. Like you can see, that, just look how key this level is. Okay. Top, the bottom, rejection, reclaim, support, rejection. We're now rejecting, right? So this is very clearly a key pivot. So if you want to be bullish on equities, which would then lead to the higher likelihood of continuation in crypto, we need to get back above here in a hurry. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see how things look tomorrow at the open or tonight at the London Open, but definitely need to see this reclaim this area. This is a very key pivot in my opinion, and I would want to see us get above there for continued bullishness. All right, we have the rejection here at the breaker. So that's what's capping price right now. All right, so that's equities. So let's look at the dollar here real quick. Sorry, I just gotta check my phone. Sorry about that, guys. So the dollar, I mean, we had this, I made a tweet about this yesterday, right? We had this massive move. We finally broke out of this huge multi-year range, 5-year plus long range. Huge move to the upside. Okay, this is the summer, basically. What happened to crypto in the summer? People are like, oh, the correlation. Look at this. Anytime people try and tell me that they know what they're fucking talking about and then they say like, oh, well, I don't agree with the correlation, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you don't actually know what you're talking about then, right? So let's see here. We'll take this on the daily. Okay. Look at when this move started. Okay. Let's say here's the bottom on the dollar. June of 2021. Okay. So we had this kind of echo bubble in crypto, right? But really, the top happened when the dollar bottomed. The first top, the dollar was bottoming at the same time, okay? So you can see my cursor, how it shows up on both screens. Right? Had the echo bubble, but basically, look, since November, so about a year ago, right? Since November, the dollar has been up only and crypto has been down only. So the correlation obviously is not only does it exist, but it is extremely relevant. So the question is now, okay, the dollar actually had a yearly SFP. So it actually closed the year back within the range, closed below. So overall, I think that's good news for us, right? If this would have closed as a strong breakout above here, I think that would have been bad. But instead, we came into that yearly bearish order block, traded up into it, closed well below, and closed below that swing high. So now looking at it on a lower time frame, you got to ask yourself, okay, are we just trading back within this range now? Let me get rid of this for a second. And this was just a deviation. And are we going to now trade back into the range and then just maybe go sideways for a long time? I don't know. Or is this a retest? Right? Here's your order block that caused the breakout, and we're going to get a rally. I think the most likely thing that's going to happen here. So we have some key levels here to pay attention to. So we're in demand. We've run a bunch of lows. We've got the $100 big figure here that I think you probably want to look at. So I'm going to just draw that on the chart. So you got the $100 big fig, or 100 big fig, and you've got this swing low here, right? So that could be the draw still for the downside. If you look at how this last weekly candle closed, you look at the 3-day, you look at the daily, you look at the 12-hour, like this looks ready to puke lower, right? It's grinding down. We had this big move up that ran all of these highs, and now we've broken down. So to me, gun to my head, this goes like this, right? So that would lead to potentially bullish environment for risk. If the dollar continues to sell off, that's good for crypto, and that's good for equities, okay? However, if the dollar does not continue to sell off, maybe it sells off a little further, but if it catches a bid here, right, because this is all demand here, so we can run all the way below this low and still close within this demand zone. What I think is more likely is, I don't know what happens with this rally. Maybe we trade a little lower, everything goes up a little more, but I think we probably get a pretty good bounce soon on the dollar. We've basically been going down since September, October, November, December. We've had 4 months of down only on the dollar. So I would not be surprised if we get some sort of big mean reversion bounce on the dollar, which would lead to a big dump in crypto. So that's something to keep in mind. This is kind of more of like a future prediction. I don't know what's going to happen first, because if we do get this down move first, right, that would likely mean crypto goes up in the short term. But then when we do get that mean reversion bounce, that's probably when we see, crypto and equities stop going up and start trading lower again. Ideal situation, we go down like this, we trade up, crypto and everything dumps, okay? And then this makes a lower high here and trades down again. And timing wise, right, that would be perfect with, okay, we had another big flush on equities, maybe stocks bottom, crypto bottoms. This tops with a lower high. We're coming into 2024. Rates are going down. We're talking about QE again. The halving's coming up, and that sets up a nice bullish environment for that year. Okay, but again, that's like a super future projection. I have no fucking clue if it's going to play out like that, but I would love to see something like this, because it would mean, okay, we get a little bit more out of this rally. We get another big dip to buy, maybe new lows. And then this tops, it's a lower high, confirms that the top is in on the dollar. Now we start getting bullish on risk again. Okay. This guy says the sewer line in my basement cracked. I'm cleaning up poop water while listening to you. You're cheering me up. Sounds like a shitty situation. You get it? Because it's poop. Oh, God, I'm funny. Okay, take a quick look at chat, and then we will talk about gold, and then I'll try and hustle through some altcoins here before my girlfriend gets over. Okay. Rob, Mayne. If there's trillions of dollars sidelined in money and the SPX and DXY are going to go sideways, why wouldn't they play in crypto? Because we are a very niche, super high risk asset class, right? Look at what just happened with FTX. You think the regular investor who's got a bunch of fucking dough is going to want to shove into crypto? No. I think crypto's a Ponzi, right? Most of traditional finance thinks crypto's a Ponzi. Crypto is a fucking Ponzi. We keep getting shown that over and over and over again. So I don't think that they would want to why would they want to put their money in that kind of risk? Right now, if you have millions of dollars, you can earn 4.5% on a government T-bill. Where are you going to put your money? At risk in something that could go down another 50%, right? Or in something that's going to guarantee you 4.5 on your millions that's completely liquid and backed by the government, right? So that would be kind of my answer to that. I will look at alts in a bit, guys, here. Yeah, I'll go over Atom and I'll go over XRP. I explained the setup in Telegram and in Discord, so I'm not really sure what you mean by explain the setup, but I'll show you them. This guy says, Mayne, can you chart ETC, please? I believe there's liquidity at 23 to 25. Can you chart and see what area we can buy to target that? Because the daily close, woof. So my one question would be, is ECT not one of the Grayscale DCG group coins? Is that not a Barry Silbert coin that he owns a shitload of? Because there's still uncertainty. I'm pretty sure the day passed where they were going to have to make a decision on Genesis and DCG. Winklevoss gave Barry an ultimatum. They went back and forth a bit on Twitter. I thought that deadline was yesterday or today. So I haven't heard anything. But that would be my main concern with that coin is it's, if DCG goes under, or has to liquidate a bunch of their assets, what do you think they're fucking selling, right? But maybe they come out and say, hey, we're solvent and we're all good and and repay the loan, and then it pumps to the moon. So I'll take a look at it. It could be interesting. Do I ever use Orb? No, I don't know what that is. I've never used it before. Okay, so gold. So I've been thinking that this thing's due for a pullback. I started shorting it here. Right? We kind of had we had 3 drives higher, right? And I was like, okay, this has to be it. Like, this got to be it, right? Kind of like a rising wedge almost, right? All of these untapped lows. I was like, this has to be it. And then we traded above, and I was like, oh shit. I'm fucked. But I was like, I just didn't buy it. I was like, I don't buy it. Then we snapped back within the range. I was like, okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the top. But then when we started just getting bought up, I think this was Friday, right? Thursday, Friday. As soon as we started getting bought up, like immediately that next day after this rejection, I was like, okay, I'm out. So I closed my short and I said, okay, let's zoom out and let's say, where is the most obvious level it's reaching for? Well, it's these highs here, right? So we had these highs here, relatively equal highs. We came just above it. Now we're seeing a bit of a rejection. So this swing failure pattern here is the premise of my short. The run of that high. right? That's the premise for my short. H12 SFP there. But we also have this weekly bearish order block here. So we could run above here, up into here, and then get the big dip. But I would love to basically, let me draw this with this pen so it stays. So either this, we do this, up into these equal highs here, or we trade higher first, right? So above here, into here, then get the big shakeout, and then the continuation. So I'm bullish on gold on the macro, just like I'm bullish on silver, like long term, but I'm still trying to trade it. But my general thesis is we're going to get a big pullback soon, and I want to long that. So I would love to long gold from like 1740 to 1780 for like a big old swing trade, right? So down here. The question is do we reject from here and come down, or do we push up here first? So based on this SFP, there's enough there for me to at least be willing to take a trade. It doesn't mean I think I'm going to short it all the way to here, but maybe we get a little bit of a pullback. We've had 3 straight weeks of up, right? So we have the SFP there. You zoom in on the hourly. I don't know if it's triggered yet. No. So we still haven't broken down on the hourly, right? So I need an hourly candle to close below here. I don't think that's happened. What's the close here? 595. What's the open? So the open there is going to be the same. The close here is 595. The low here is 560, right? So if you look, if we really zoom in, you can see we never closed below the low. So the short has not triggered yet, technically. Now, because I'm hoping that I'm right, I started shorting earlier. I started shorting once I saw the low time frame. I said, okay, well, we got a 15-minute market structure shift here. Bearish retest, sold off, closed below this low, another bearish retest. So I started selling here, okay? But the setup is not confirmed, and I'm not getting full size until I get an hourly close below 1870.56. So until that happens, the setup is not confirmed. So if you're not in this trade, it has not triggered yet. We have support here. Put in a big wick. Maybe just like Bitcoin, maybe I'm going to be left holding my dick waiting for a bigger pullback that might not happen. I don't know, right? I'm going to be holding my dick either way because I like holding my dick, but I don't know, okay? So want to see a breakdown. That's why I had the arrow like I had it, right? I had this. I want to see the move below, close, retest. That's when I get in. Why is it so squiggly? Like so sketchy. This is why, like, sometimes this thing's smooth and sometimes, I think it's when it's zoomed in, it's too janky. But I still hasn't technically triggered, okay? Silver. Okay, we had a weekly SFP here, right? Daily SFP here. We actually have a break in market structure here on the daily. And this is like a 12-hour kind of breaker block kind of gig, but you know, here's your hourly setup. So silver triggered. Gold is trading within the breaker zone still. Silver broke below, retested, sold off again. Another SFP here, another break there. That would have been the tight setup right there. That's your double confirmation setup right there. But yeah, I'm still bullish on silver overall. Like, I still think silver is going to 30. If you look at the monthly, like this monthly is just Chad to me. Can it pull back to 21, 22 first? Absolutely, right? But this is not over, this run, in my opinion. I'm looking to buy the dip on metals because I'm bullish. I think silver makes a new high above here. But yeah, not as clear to me. I got the gold setup nailed. Tesla, we had this massive sell-off, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight months of red. Okay? Non-stop selling 5 straight months into weekly demand with a key swing low hanging out right into it. So everyone was like, Tesla's going to zero. Elon's lost $200 billion. The first person ever lose that much money. That's the kind of shit I want to hear when I want to look to long. It's down 75%. Tesla still makes cars and still makes money, right? I don't think this is going anywhere. So down 75% into demand. I'm like, I think there's a good chance we get a bounce here. Once we had that run of the low, right, and the SFP here, I started buying calls. So I got some medium dated Tesla calls. So 3 to 6 months expiry. Okay. And I think we move up at least back towards here. So this is kind of what I'd like to see. So if we start bouncing pretty hard on Tesla here, those calls are going to print. Grayscale BTC Trust went up 11% today. Good news. I mean, but wasn't it down? Like, it's like Coin, right? Coin went up a bunch today, right? But it's down so much. It's kind of like, we're not that surprised. Yeah, Bitcoin went up too, right? So that probably is why. I don't know if it has an inkling or if there's a clue as to it going up, and that could be good news for DCG. I don't know. Did I buy them ATM? I don't understand the question. Where do I trade gold at? You can trade gold on Prime. I also have a broker that I use that's local to Canada called Oanda that I trade on. I also will take gold option trades on gold companies or GLD. And I can buy puts and calls through TD Ameritrade. Lots of different ways. All right, let's go over some alts. So, Atom, the absolute bangeranger. This thing ran crazy. Okay. So this setup was pretty straightforward. I mentioned that I thought Bitcoin and Ethereum were both trading higher, right? So if you go to Discord, right, or you go to Telegram, I posted, I said, hey, I think we go higher on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So with that logic, I said, okay, I want to potentially look to get some exposure on altcoins. So I started flicking through the list and I wanted to see what might be setting up. So I looked at Atom. Okay, and I'm like, okay, we have this weekly SFP here. Effectively a very clear higher low, right? Low to high, higher low. So I'm like, okay, the weekly looks pretty good, right? Then you zoom into the 12-hour. There's that SFP on the weekly. Grind it up. Then we made a bullish order block here that broke market structure right here. Okay. So I said, okay, we've got this 12-hour bullish order block. And you could just buy this with your stop here. But I decided to dial in one more down to the hourly because I wanted to see if I could get in tighter. I said, okay, we have this 12-hour order block. We trade into it. What do we have here? Here's an hourly bullish order block. Down candle for the up move that broke market structure. So when we came back into here, I started longing. I put my stop below here. The reason being is twofold. One, generally I never put my stop exactly at the edge of the OB, because with spread and just the fact that sometimes crypto is a liquid, so many little things can happen. And it's something I learned from Forex, because oftentimes with the spread, you might get stopped out if your stop is super duper tight. So I always leave a little bit of room. But I had a little bit of a thought like, okay, well, we have this order block here, but this is technically an order block as well. So in reality, the entire order block is more like this, right? So if I probably could find it on like the H4 or something, exactly, right? So really the order block is bigger than just that, those two individual candles here. So by seeing this here, I'm like, okay, we could trade a little lower into this order block, but as long as we're closing within it, I'm comfy. And I don't think we should trade below this order block at all, right? Because you basically have your breakout, retest of this order block. Breakout, now we're retesting it. So we shouldn't have gone below here. So I didn't even have an initial stop on right away, right? But the general idea was like, okay, my stop's going to be down here. Traded in. I started filling. Once we had this, SFP, stop now goes here. Simple, right? Where was my target? I was not targeting fucking 10R, right? I had that as an area. I'm like, okay, this is the next high time frame resistance for sure. But I was just targeting these highs initially, right? So entry here, target here. So I closed most of my trade right here. Woke up, massive green candle, took more profit. Simple as that. XRP, I believe, worked out, but I got stopped. So I think the idea was right, but I think I just got wicked. Yeah, see? So I entered exact same idea. Okay, hourly order block. Stop just below. Look what happened. Wicked way deep. I got stopped out. But then came back. Boom. So the idea, right, was right. I'm like, I think we're going up from this general area. I think we're trading into these highs. That was the premise. But unfortunately, my invalidation got tagged. And sometimes that happens. So you can wake up and be like, oh, fuck. Right? Like the trade would have worked. I would have made money. It's like, well, no, you wouldn't have, because you did not account for this fucking wick. And sometimes that's what happens. And you can even see here, we actually came back. If you go here, here's a new hourly order block here. Look where that filled. Pretty nice. But again, I trade with you guys live. I send you setups before I enter them. I talk about things in advance. Sometimes things don't work, right? There's periods of times where it looks like I can't miss. This setup ticked all the same boxes that the Atom setup ticked. The Atom setup played out. This setup had a big stop run. I ended up getting stopped out. That's the name of the game. You're not going to win every trade. Every time you draw an order block, it's not going to be perfectly respected. You're just going to be wrong sometimes. And that is why we aim for a 3+ R risk reward ideally, right? Because I think my average R on the Atom trade is like 5. -1 R here, +5 R in the other trade. I'm up 4 R over 2 trades, and I only won one of them, right? So that happens. But yeah, pretty scammy wick here, pretty shitty, because I felt the idea was good. All right, guys. So my girlfriend is here. So I I don't want to stay on too long because we got to go to the gym and eat some dinner, and I got to finish Yellowstone. But I'll take a couple quick requests. So if you guys have an altcoin that you'd like me to chart, I'll pick 2 of them and I will chart them. So spam the chat now. What tool do you use to calculate average R, or do you do it manually? I have a journal, right? CoinMarketMan. So I'm in the process, guys. An update on CoinMarketMan. I've agreed to terms with them. So what it's going to be is they're going to give me a Bybit link, okay? And if you want access to CoinMarketMan for free, you need to sign up on my Bybit link, okay? Deposit some money, and then link that account through API. It's read only, so don't worry about the some 3 comma scam. It's read only. There's no write option. Read only to CoinMarketMan, and it will recognize that you signed up on my link, and it will give you free lifetime access, which I think is pretty fucking sick, seeing as it's like a $70 a month platform, and it has a API function where it can just pull the data directly from the exchange, but it also has a journal. So you can journal each of your trades. You put your entry, your stop, your exit. It'll calculate your risk. When you have a whole bunch of trades in there, it will calculate your expectancy and your average R and all that shit. It gives you all the data. It's a really good platform, and I'm really excited that they're giving me the opportunity to share it with my audience. Son of a bitch, just die. Stupid gold piece of shit. Okay. Oh my God, you guys spam the chat so hard. Okay, I'm going to take one request from Twitch, and I'm going to take one request from YouTube. Okay, so let's see here. Question, do you guys like Twitch better? Is Twitch better for streaming? I'm wondering if I should just do all my streams on Twitch and then upload the videos after the fact on YouTube. Because right now I'm streaming on both, so it splits my audience. So I don't have enough viewers on Twitch to get, become a partner. But, I have more subscribers on YouTube, so I get more viewers on YouTube. I have 400 people on YouTube watching and only 70 on Twitch. But I wonder if I should just do all of my streaming on Twitch and then upload my condensed stream and the full stream and everything on YouTube. Oh, it looks like some alts are eating shit here right now. That's good. Okay. Okay, do OP from the Twitch chat. Okay, I will do OP. Is this on Bybit? Must be. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There it is. Okay. Flat bottom on the monthly. That's getting taken out for sure. Just kidding. I don't actually know. I don't know what this token is, and I don't know what it does. Okay, guys? So keep that in mind. I don't know what I don't even know. Is it optimism? Is that what this is? I've seen it talked about maybe, but I don't actually know anything about it. Okay, so this looks like a ton of alts, right? Huge fucking moves into resistance and seeing rejection, right? So very clear resistance here There's your up candle for your down move that broke market structure. And it even engineered these really nice highs right here. Okay. What I mean by that, remember, I think it was last stream I talked about inducement, right? Inducement. This is exactly what I mean, right? So you have your bearish order block. That's where you want to short. What it'll do is it'll come close and it'll put some swing highs there. And then that engineers liquidity. People short, right? Being like, okay, well, that was the top. Guess what's above there? Buy stops, right? How do you get short? You sell into buy stops. So that's what you're seeing here. So we're seeing that rejection now. So this is like so many alts look like this. Big green move into resistance, and resistance doing its job originally, or for now. So now looking at this, I would treat it the exact same as Bitcoin and Ethereum. You have a swing low here, okay? And you have a potential swing high in the making here. I'd likely, if this is going to continue higher, right, which it very well could, we could trade into these highs here, right? Maybe we trade up into this. Above this high into here, right? Or maybe we trade into this. I don't know. I don't know yet. But I'm not going to long this here based on the chart right now. Into resistance, I would like to see a pullback to get long. This looks pretty nice to me. Right around here maybe. Right? Right around here. Maybe a little bit of this fair value gap. I don't know. But I would like to see a dip to long, if I'm going to long. Retrace into this range, then give me something. Then I'll pile on for another potential leg up. So this looks like a ton of alts. This was a good example. Big moves up into resistance. Can you short this move? Sure, right? Well, you would have had to been paying attention here, but when you saw the big move up into resistance, SFP, here's your break in market structure right here. And here's your bearish retest that's potentially playing out as we speak. Okay? So that would have been some sort of day trade there. I'm sure there's something on the 15-minute that triggered better. Yeah, look. Right here. Right? There's your breaker. Breakdown. Boom. You could already have a 2-hour trade right here. That's with a loose stop. With a tighter stop. Definitely got a trade there. Anyways. But yeah, into resistance. Resistance doing its job for now. Now it's looking similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? It's kind of coiling up underneath these lows here. What's going to happen? Are we going to break down? I don't know. So we need to see, if this is bearish, we need to see another push down here, right? Need to see another push down. Okay, so up. I'm gonna tag this green. I just downloaded this list and it's all of the USDT perps on Bybit from sandwich.finance. They have it for all the exchanges. See, look, this is quite the buyback. Like, look at Sol. Right? Like, if you're bearish, you need this to close ugly. I don't want to see another long lower wick candle because then I think it's probably going to trade higher. But okay. So OP, I'm going to tag this green as in maybe I want to buy the dip if it dips. Right? And I would probably put some alerts. I would probably put some alerts here. Right? And then I'd probably put one right around the middle of the fair value gap, and I'd put one down at the order block. Right? Okay. Boom, simple as that, right? Now, if my alerts start triggering, I know to pull up this chart and see if it's giving me something, right? And if it starts trading in this area, I want to see if the bulls step in. And then until those alerts trigger, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to sit here and just stare at it, right? You don't need to. It's funny. Everyone on Twitch is like, Twitch is better. And then everyone on YouTube is like, stay on YouTube. YouTube is better. I don't know what to do. Okay. There's just so many more people on my YouTube, right, that follow me. Okay. What is the May 30th for big OP unlock? Okay. What's good, Abel? All right, let's look at why is CoinMarketMan overcharging? It used to be $20 a month. I might have misquoted saying it was 70. Let's see, pricing. Yeah, professional, $69.99 a month. Enterprise, $89.99 a month. But it does way more than it used to. That's probably, and it's also got a free option. Like, it has a free option. But you're going to get the professional option, which gives you unlimited verification pages, in-depth account analytics, trade history and performance, unlimited trade uploads, automated trading journal, CVS downloads and reports. A lot of really good stuff for free by using my link. Okay. Should we look at LTC? Or, yeah, let's look at GALA. So Trader ZS, the homeboy, nailed a short on this. And if you actually look, do I still have that? No, I don't. I used to have this. Wow, what a bounce back. I used to have a list that showed a bunch of alts, and GALA was one of the ones that rejected the hardest, right? Like, this was a 20% rejection here. So GALA, right? Again, big green candles across the board. So if you see this happening and you want to potentially get into a quick short, right? Zoom out and say, okay, well, where could price be reaching for? Okay. We have a bearish order block here. You have a swing high right there. So you mark that out. And then as you see price trading aggressively up towards that level, and then it closes as an SFP, that can be your trigger to short. So I'm telling you, ZS, sorry, who's in my Discord, who posted about this trade, I guarantee as soon as he saw this trade above and start closing below, he entered short. Then on the low time frame, sure, there's some sort of trigger here that you can get in on, but I guarantee he was anticipating it was going to be an SFP and he shorted, and then he covered into these lows, right? But this looks like very similar to everything, right? Here on the weekly, even better. There's your weekly order block. Huge move up, right into resistance, getting a bit of a rejection. Still too early to tell what's going to happen for the balance of the week, but a ton of alts look just like this. I can go through I can go through any of these. A lot of these are just non-existent. No one even gives a fuck about them. Yeah, again, none of this shit is like, all this shit is so dead. Atom, right? Same shit. Big move up into resistance. Ape, big move up into resistance. So what does this mean, right? Well, obviously, if you longed lower here, good area to take profit into resistance, but it also means if we start flipping these levels, right? Maybe we have like a little, mini alt season where things go crazy. I don't know. A lot of things have to happen and go right for that to work, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. Mark these resistance levels. If price rejects at them, wait and see if it can reclaim it, right? A perfect example on OP, right? If we're able to get above this, right, we're trading higher. So why not pay attention here, look to potentially buy the dip, because if this is going to break out, right, we want to be on the ride. Okay, so I think that's it for today, guys. So I'm going to be way more active over the next 2 weeks. So I have my brother's wedding in Mexico. So I'm going to be away for a week at the end of the month. But leading up to that, I'm going to be super active. I'm going to have a goal to get out 3 videos this week, maybe short reviews. I don't know, trade updates. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to do my best to be super active over the coming little bit here. And then, yeah, I'll be in Mexico. But then February 1, like we're hitting the ground running and I'm going hard for the year. I'm taking less trips this next year, way less trips. I'm going to be focused on making money, posting content. I've got some exciting stuff planned for Discord. Some exciting stuff I'm working on. To give you guys a clue, I'm working on an indicator that will mark out order blocks, SFPs, fair value gaps, all the things that I use to enter trades. I'm working on an indicator that will mark them out for you. Obviously, I think manual is always better, but if you have an order block or if you have an indicator that can kind of help you guys spot these things, I think it'll definitely help your trading. So I'm working on that. I'm working on a few things. So I'm excited. It's going to be a great year. I appreciate the support as always. So thank you guys for that. If you want to join my Discord, tradermayne.com has all the information on how to do so. Make sure you're in the Telegram as well, interacting with my posts, liking the videos, commenting on them, liking and commenting on my tweets. I appreciate all of it. It helps me out more than you guys know. And that's all I got. Thank you, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Love you so much.